There's a known question regarding the death of Haran, the brother of Abraham, back in Parshat Noach. Haran is dying there in Ur Kasdim, also known as Ur of the Chaldees, after he was thrown to the furnace and was burned alive. The whole incident happened when Abraham is thrown to the furnace by Nimrod, who burned him alive, who tried to burn him alive, because he said there is God, there is Hashem. And Hashem did a miracle, and Abraham is getting out of the furnace alive. Now what about his brother? His brother is sitting next to there, and he's being asked, so who are you siding with now? And he is looking at what happened to Abraham, and he says, well, that proves he was miraculously saved. That proves that there is God, there is Hashem. So he says, I'm siding with Abraham. And sure enough, Nimrod threw him to the furnace, but here, in his case, he wasn't saved. And everybody asked, how come? Abraham says, I acknowledge there is Hashem, and he was saved. Haran says, I acknowledge there is Hashem, there is a creator to this world, and he was burned alive. What happened there? Well, the answer lies in our Parsha, Parshat Mishpatim. The whole Parsha is about a set of laws, basically how you should judge if you are a judge, if you are a dayan, a Jewish judge, how you should judge between people, the laws of how people should behave, and how you judge them when they have a dispute about it. The Parsha is coming right after what happened last week in Parshat Yitro, where Bnei Israel are getting the Torah. They're having a tremendous experience, an amazing experience, something that you would think they would never forget, because who sees what's going on in heaven? Who can see angels? And they did. And they saw the voices of Hashem coming out of his mouth, and when they got the Ten Commandments. So they had a crazy experience that they would think that would sink deeply in their soul and would stay there forever. And here comes our Parsha and says, no. You may have a very great experience, but if you don't attach it to deeds, to everyday life, that wouldn't stay. That would fade away, and you might see God in your own naked eyes, and you would still forget about it after a while, because this is how we human beings act and react. We may have very big experiences, high experiences, very spiritual, and we would feel very close to Hashem, but if we don't do anything with it, it will go away. And this is why the Torah attaches what happened in the last week to these set of laws. And when we look at it, we see something interesting. The last Parsha ends up with the altar, with the Mizbeach, how you should build it, how you should behave with it. And this Parsha starts with the laws for the Dayanim, for the judges, how they should judge between the Jews. And that teaches us that you might have a sacrifice place with an altar where you can sacrifice korbanos, sacrifices to Hashem, and still this is not enough if you don't have rules and you don't have laws how to judge between people, because you need it for the everyday life. And if you don't have justice, then you have nothing. Now, attaching our big experiences, our big holy spiritual experiences to everyday life, this is what makes us who we are, and this is what makes sure that these big experiences would go on and would last. This is why Haran died. Haran had a very big experience, an amazing experience of seeing what happened and understanding there is a creator to this world, and he said, yes, there is Hashem, but he only had this experience. He didn't mean to attach it to any deeds. And that meant he would go back to his bad deeds and do against what Hashem wants, against Hashem's will. So Hashem took him. He took him righteous. He took him while he's still in this very deep experience of being close to Hashem, in order to prevent him from going back to his way of evil. This is what the Parsha tells us. Everyday life should be attached to our big experiences in order for them to last.